Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another crypto market update. Today is November 7th, 2024. Beautiful day for our cryptocurrency economy as Bitcoin still holding strong above our previous all-time high. And we're starting to see capital rotation into the altcoin markets. In today's episode, we're going to highlight which of the categories the funds are flowing into the strongest, what Bitcoin needs to decisively do to show that this rally has legs, and that we will not be pulling back into the trading range to see a later breakout and resolution of the consolidation later on in 2024, early in 2025. We're going to cover all of that and more in today's episode. Let's get cracking. All right. Ooh, my camera's gone. All right, we're going to be summarizing my market update that I posted on Twitter. Make sure you guys go follow me over on Twitter at cracking_crypto. This is also available in our Discord, and then I post a more exclusive analysis on our Trading Academy with my private picks of the day or the week. So let's get into this. Of course, we can start off with Bitcoin here, and starting off with our market dominance, we can see that Bitcoin market dominance currently today sitting at 59.93%. That is a change of negative 1.04%. So we do see Bitcoin dominance shedding a bit today after its big, and this is a big shedding relative for Bitcoin. We haven't seen a big shedding like this. This is a big single day shedding. So the last time we saw something like this was towards the middle of October, where we shed about 1.18%, but that was, of course, over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. All right. So this is a much more significant movement within a day, but it's slightly different because in that situation, look at this slide. We saw a brief surge in altcoins for those 5 days, but Solana dominance was already in this very strong trend. Altcoins didn't continue to move down. Excuse me. Ethereum is what I meant there. Altcoins continued to trend down, and USDT dominance and stablecoin dominance continued to trend down as well. This is a very different environment. Just 3 weeks later, it's a very different environment. It means a very different thing. We see Bitcoin dominance sliding down, but price remaining above previous all-time highs, while we're seeing Solana dominance, Ethereum dominance, altcoin dominance wake up, and stablecoin dominance absolutely plunge. So we're seeing something entirely different. We are beginning to see that capital rotation out of Bitcoin and into other assets. So we're starting to see that beginning of what might hopefully become the beginnings of some larger, massive movements among between coins that are not Bitcoin. So this is kind of the first sign of that. And this is the fundamental things that you want to be watching for. This is that time in the market. I saw a beautiful post on Twitter earlier that said something like, "This is it, boys. We're here. This is that beautiful time in the market when all TA works. Everybody's a genius and everything you buy just goes up." We're hoping that that's what this is. Now, again, you need to not just take that with a big grain of salt. All right. You still need to be a disciplined trader. But if you just get momentum right and you can see the writing on the walls that, hey, capital's starting to rotate. Look what happened to Bitcoin. How do we know if other coins are going to go up? Well, but you look at capital rotation, and I like to look at dominance because the chart doesn't lie. It just tells you the data, the information right in front of you. Bitcoin's market dominance went down. Did Bitcoin's price slide? No. Okay. It didn't go into stablecoin dominance. All right. So people weren't cashing out. Well, what were they doing with that money? Oh, it was going into altcoins. Oh, it was going to Ethereum. Oh, it was going to Solana. Well, what do we think that's going to mean for Ethereum, Solana, and altcoins over the next weeks and months? Oh, I don't know. Maybe they go sideways. So come on, this is the stuff you guys got to watch and pick up on. All right. So very interesting tail of the tape there. Starting to see that capital rotation moving around. All right, definitely an interesting couple of days. And let's hit the rest of the numbers there. All right, so Ethereum dominance. Ethereum dominance is actually at 13.88%. That's a 4.5% increase in Ethereum dominance. That is crazy. So Ethereum jumping mightily. Remember how I said Ethereum 55% away from its all-time highs was a no-brainer trade last week? Hello, people. You giveth and I giveth, you receiveth. Let's go, people. All right, Solana. I've been talking every day about the pump fund memes, the AI memes on Solana. We're going to be talking quite a little bit today about Solana and a project that I'm interested in. So yeah, let's do this. All right, so dominance is up good. I'm seeing that as capital rotation into the markets. All right, ETF flow. Looking at Bitcoin ETF flow, we saw a pretty positive day across the board. The only thing that we saw have outflows was IBIT and BUR. Those saw outflows today. But FBTC, so Fidelity's ETF, BitB at 100.9 million. Fidelity's ETF having 308 million inflows. We see ARCs at 127 million inflows, HODL at 17.2 million, and GBDC at 30.9 million, and Grayscale's BTC at 108.8, bringing yesterday's total inflows to 629.9 million. Now this is good. Now remember that we do have to be cautious of retail volume, which is ETF volume, signaling a local top whenever we see a big surge in volume. But we also need to understand that volume comes into the market in three places. It comes in at the top of a movement, it comes in at the bottom of a movement, so it comes in at the end of the trend. Either price is pumping too high and we've reached the top, that's when volume flows in. It comes in at the end of a movement, prices are dumping, there's a surge in volume, that's the bottom. But it also comes in a breakout and when a trend truly begins. All right. And that is what we are banking on, that this is the true initiation, because that is not an insignificant number. It is not also the numbers that marked. If we go over here and look at this 893 million, this 870 million, it's not so huge that you're like, oh, well, of course, this is a local top, right? So let's go back 30th and 29th of October on the daily time frame. What were those 2 days? That was the local top. All right, that was the local top over here. High 800 to 900 million dollars in ETF inflows and marked the local top. Now we're having 600 million on this day, this big, obviously the breakout day, the result of the election day. Is this a local top? This looks markedly different from price action over here. It looks markedly different. But is this going to be a local top? Let's keep our eyes peeled and watch. All right, so overall ETF flow is quite positive today. Capital rotation. All right, capital rotation saw the largest amount, or the biggest percent increases go into Launchpad tokens, the Pump.Fund ecosystem. So Solana memes continuing to pump. That's been one of the top three for the last, I don't know, however long, forever. Stablecoin protocols, also interestingly. So the fact that we're seeing such growth today in Launchpad ecosystem and stablecoin protocols, of course, AI memes, but then look at these others: lending and borrowing up 28%, RWA protocol up 26.9%, liquid staking governance up 26.9%, yield farming. All right. So obviously we know, pump fund ecosystems, AI memes. We know those are going to be at the top, but normally we've just seen meme categories here at the top. Now we're seeing ecosystem memes, foundational, pivotal elements of the ecosystem: Launchpad, stablecoin protocols, lending and borrowing, liquid staking governance, yield farming, RWA protocols, which obviously been trending very well. But what does this mean? We're starting to see capital rotation out of Bitcoin finally kind of reaching that real high of 60% market dominance. This is when lots of people were expecting to see that shift of capital rotation from Bitcoin into altcoins at potentially the beginning of altcoin season. We're seeing that happen. And why is it so heartening to see that money flowing into the fundamental concepts, the fundamental backbone staples of the ecosystem, like Launchpad and stablecoin protocols, yield farming, lending and borrowing? It lets us know that there is a lot of faith in the ecosystems, and instead of the money necessarily running to what are going to be the top performers in that ecosystem, we're seeing a more conservative move that's saying, well, we're not sure what the winners are going to be yet, but we do know that the protocols are going to be used heavily, and so by putting our money into these protocols and holding the protocol tokens, we know that we're going to make money. That gives me a lot of confidence that whales are going to be willing to lock their tokens up in these pivotal these pivotal protocols that we need. Protocols like Launchpads, they're going to be launching the next token. So something interesting today, let's go back and take a look. So in Launchpad, what are the top three that are up? Okay, we can, again, I told you guys how you have to filter and understand. So we see something at the top like Deployer here, which is up 31% in the last 24 hours, but it only has less than $20,000 in volume and less than $1 million market cap. For me, that's far too risky. I don't even consider that on my radar. You guys can choose to have your own risk tolerances, but that's too small for me, and I'm just not even willing to look into it anymore. I don't care. I will find my $1 to $5 million gem, market cap gem, that has lots of users, definitely isn't a rug pull, no problem whatsoever, and I'll snatch up on that. So what caught my eye here was this project called Solanium. So I actually reached out to Solanium, obviously, in my market update on Twitter, and so I'm waiting to hear some things back, but I just did some quick research. So if we go and look at Solanium's protocol, all right, it's pretty simple. It's a Launchpad protocol where you can purchase the protocol tokens, which is SLIM, ticker symbol SLIM. You can get them on Radium, you can get them on MEXC, you can get them on KuCoin, whatever. But if you get you notice that there's different tiers, and this is based on how many tokens that you have or how long you're willing to stake. So if you get 10,000 Slim tokens, which right now Slim is approximately about 11 cents. Yeah, it's 11 cents. So you can get 10,000 Slim tokens for $1,100, technically $1,117 plus fees. So if you do that, that is going to give you, going back to the Selenium protocol, that's going to give you automatic tier 4, which guarantees you an allocation into all of their launch products, all of their IDOs that they're going to be launching. And so if you think about that, I know from previous cycles that it's almost never a good idea to lock your tokens up, because for generally locking your tokens up for yield is always a mistake, because the profit that you would make from simply buying the token, waiting until it pumps and then selling it is always going to vastly outnumber anything that you're going to make from, a high APR. Those are usually all not scams, not necessarily scams. A lot of them are, but those high APRs don't account for opportunity loss, because your capital is locked up and crypto just moves way too fast for you to be married to this one particular project for a year. Now, there are some projects where I've locked up for a long time because I think that project is going to be around in 5 years, and those are personal bets that I've made. So, for example, things like Velodrome and Aerodrome that I think are just going to be foundational exchanges. I've locked up there. I did the max 4-year lockup, and I make money passively every single week by voting and getting my incentives and all that. That's been very fine. Now, obviously, I've had to sit there and watch the value of my VNFT on Velodrome go up to like $40,000 and come back down to 10,000 and up to 50,000 and come back down. And it's those times I'm like, man, I wish I could sell my Velo. So, but I enjoy the passive income. All right. So in general, it's almost always bad to lock up for an APR, because you would make more money just being able to buy the token, hold it, sell it when it pumps, and then move into something else. Capital, you made your money on the protocol, great, move on. But if with Selenium, since basically the way I'm considering it is that $1,100 is just like an entrance fee. All right. I pay that. I lock up for 1 year. I'm probably going to lose that money because the value of Slim might crash in a year or 2 years or whatever, but also it might be much higher and I might make a return on that in a year. But if it gets me access, it gets me guaranteed entrance into every single IDO that they do, well, then that means all I need is one project to make $1,000. So I need to, I put $100 in every protocol they launch, and I just need one to 10x, and I made my money back. So, and anything over that is profit. So it's finding these little good ideas, these very interesting little edge cases, and it's worth doing your shopping now while prices are low. Altcoins are 30% off their lows. All right. So yes, things could get much cheaper, but now is the time when you want to start doing your due diligence and finding the projects that you want to hold for the next leg of the cycle. Otherwise, you're going to get left behind and you're going to be market buying stuff after they've already pumped, which is always an uncomfortable situation to be in. And I just know that a lot of you who are in the same situation with Bitcoin, like, okay, well, you already didn't allocate in earlier. Do you want to make that same mistake with altcoins, which are really the coins that can, make you wealthy in a cycle, right? Bitcoin is not going to make anyone wealthy if they're not already wealthy. Bitcoin is there to preserve wealth for those who are already wealthy. For those who are trying to go from under $100,000 portfolio to several millions this cycle, you have to play altcoins, or you have to take a lot of risk with leverage, right? Which honestly, it's just a different, it's whatever you're good at. If you find that you're good with leverage trading, then leverage trade. But if you're not necessarily good at leverage trading, then buying and holding altcoins is probably the way that you want to go. All kinds of ways to make money in the market this cycle. But so I reached out to Selenium because a couple of questions. One, I bought, so full disclosure, I bought 10,000 Slim tokens this morning for $1,100. And so holder of Slim, so bias there. But I haven't staked them yet. And the reason why is because once I stake them, I don't have the opportunity to unlock them, and I'm in for a year. And they require KYC. And obviously, I'm a digital citizen of Palau. So I'm going to see if they allow that before I end up pulling the trigger. But, I like to share the moves that I make and the things that I see that are interesting. But if we go back and look, it's not just Selenium, okay? It's not just Selenium where you have these opportunities. Going back to those launch pads, what else is up high? Phantom Starter. I think Phantom was one of my top performers in the 2020-2021 cycle. So Phantom I think is strong. I think is going to make a comeback. I think it's going to be a good pick this year. It's a good blockchain where things are going to go on. Now, it's possible that Phantom really just doesn't do as well as things like Arbitrum, Optimism, and Base. But to think that Phantom's not going to do nothing And, you know, just Phantom did so well for a lot of the people in our community back in 2020, 2021, that it just seems stupid to not get into that. But so you have Phantom Starter, right? Here's Yield App, right? We can just skip right over that. Why? Less than $1 million market cap and 24-hour volume of 50 bucks. I don't think so. But look at GamesPad, all right? Or actually, sorry, we're going to skip over GamesPad too. I don't know why I got so excited saying UFO Gaming is what I meant. This is the UFO token on Twitter. Good project, good team. Checked out their socials. So it's finding these unique opportunities for growth. All right, but maybe you don't want to do the launchpad thing. Let's just go back to what's growing. All right, stablecoin protocols. All right, stablecoin protocols. Okay, what can we invest in here? Okay, Athena, Maker, Curve DAO, FractShare. Come on, guys. There's opportunities all over in the space, but you just have to start doing your research, start looking around, you know, build a list of what's successful and what's not successful, and just continue to go with that. All right. So good opportunities, I think, in the cryptocurrency market space today. And I think those opportunities are waking up. All right. And also all my AI, all my meme coins that I slung into heavily the day before the election are continuing to do well. So shout out Department of Government Efficiency, Elon, Doge. Let's just keep it going, boys. All right, let's get to our Bitcoin analysis. All right, so on the higher time frames, Bitcoin is looking beautiful. If we look at the weekly, these are the projections that we made in yesterday's show. They're going to maintain there. We have our first levels of support. We are two tiers of support here based on our high volume node zones. We identified those last week and Monday. We talked about those quite heavily, but this is looking like an incredibly strong weekly candle for Bitcoin. If we are able to close decisively above our previous all-time high, I just don't see. I don't see how we can fail. I mean, this is just beautiful. This seems very strong. The volume is high, but the volume isn't overwhelming, indicating that it's likely not a local top. Things are good. Daily time frame, momentum oscillators shifting back into the bullish control zone. We're nowhere near overbought. Volatility is crossing up. So good. We're not peaking in high volatility. We obviously got the low volatility signal just a while over here, and we're just finally getting resolution in the direction of the previous trend. The Gann swing high-low support held on the pullback, so held as support. I've mentioned that when it happened on Friday. And so here we are, just right back up at new highs. Life is good. DPMO is flipped back into the bullish control zone as well. So overall, bullish trends still intact and not seeing any threatening signals. We're nowhere near overbought. So the daily is looking good. The 4-hour time frame, we did get a push into being overbought on the 4-hour time zone. On the 4-hour time frame, along with peaking high, critical high volatility over here on the BBWP indicator. So overall, good. Looking for a pullback here is not insane. We do see the 4-hour Gann swing high low coming in around 71,555. Now we're going to correlate basically that level with the low 72,000s here in just a little bit when we go down and look at the hourly. So keep a note of basically that shelf level. So basically, slightly below, about 2 to 3% below this low right here on the 4-hour time frame would be a high value pullback zone. Obviously previous resistance here as well. So if we do get a pullback to those areas, that's fine. Of course, if we are talking about a breakout, we do just want to see price go. We don't want to see all this like fidgeting. It's like, oh, are we going to break out? Are we really going to go? So, when you see a pullback on a breakout, I'm biased to believe that wasn't really a breakout. It was a fake break, and that the actual direction is the short. So we obviously have these biases. So yes, we would much rather just see Bitcoin push powerfully than do some kind of pullback shenanigans. But of course, Bitcoin's going to do what Bitcoin does. I've seen Bitcoin do things that I would completely not expect on any other asset. So keep that in mind. All is well. Also, so overall, summary on the higher time frames. I think the weekly looks incredibly strong. If we can get that strong weekly close, I think good things are in motion. And I think that seeing that capital rotation that we saw in altcoins is good here. So as long as if Bitcoin just continues to stall here, what we absolutely have to see is we have to continue to see altcoins and Ethereum and Solana pump. We have to continue to see that. If Bitcoin stalls out here and altcoins start selling off, then this is going to be a local top. And we do need to be thinking about shorting this movement instead of market buying into resistance. But for now, I think we all need to be doing our civic duty to market buy resistance. All right. If you want the pump to happen, you got to make the pump happen. Let's go. Hit the green button. All right, so that's where we're at. Coming down to the lower time frames, we can see that Bitcoin briefly lost hourly momentum over here. Yeah. So Bitcoin briefly lost a little bit of hourly momentum, but overall we've been able to completely maintain the slow EMA guppy band as support on every pullback so far. We do see the 1 hour, or excuse me, yeah, we seeing the fast guppy kind of twist up. So this is exactly what happened over here as well, as price came back down and tested support. So again, we do see things that could justify a little bit of a pullback here. Of course, we do want price to pull off, but again, what I said, we need to see if price is going to pull back or stall out a little bit on Bitcoin here. If we continue to see altcoins rally, then we're good. Then it's all good. All right, then it's all good. What we do not want to see is Bitcoin pullback and altcoins pullback as well. We do not want to see that. Then that's a negative sign. All right, so things are good. Again, we had a very strong bullish GAN swing hourly signal over here on November 4th, the day before the election, of course, and then just blasting off throughout the election. We had a take profit signal over here, and we're back into it as of this morning at 9 a.m., just when the stock market opened up. So things are good. Volatility high, but not overwhelmingly so. We see time transformation getting close to overbought territory and pulling back down into kind of mid zone here. So definitely plenty of potential for price to pull. DPMO still negative, so we're not really getting the signs. We don't have that bullish impetus push yet to the upside, but that's all good. We did see volatility come down quite low. And so again, volatility coming down low like this, and then not only a GAN swing signal, the time transformation crossing over to the bullish control zone is telling us to momentum along this area. So we are actually getting those signals. Been good. Pretty similar on the 15-minute chart as well. Low volatility consolidation. Basically through the early hours of the morning, and then basically just as the market opened up, nice pump up until basically closed the market, and then slow sell off. So again, not a whole lot of movement, sell off towards the end of the traditional equity hours close, and sideways action for now. But we do see now the Asian market attempting to push things back up a little bit. So not all is lost, or excuse me, the UK market starting to push things up a little bit as well. So overall, things good. I talked about the critical things. Bitcoin's fine, stalling out here as long as we can see altcoins to pump. That's going to strengthen the idea of capital rotation. And yeah, all good. All things being good, I think we're good. All right, guys, I think that's all for today's report. Let me know what coins you guys are watching in the comment section, what you guys think about the capital rotation. Do you think we are beginning to see capital rotation from Bitcoin go into altcoins? And if so, how do you plan to play it? Don't just keep your strategy solo. We are here as a community to grow wealth and build wealth together in this decentralized economy. So let's go. Let me know in the comment section what you're market buying, and if you are market buying resistance as your civil duty, let me know. All right, guys, if you guys want to enjoy 0% spot trading fees, competitive futures trading fees, and the opportunity to trade with me and get exclusive discounts, as well as VIP level 2 fee discounts, by the way, come trade with me over on BYDFi. All right, link in the description. If you guys are also serious about improving your ability to trade and you want to join us in the academy and learn how we build strategies, get access to our proprietary suite of indicators that we use to make money every single day, link in the description down to the academy as well. Other than that, make sure you join our free Discord and follow me on Twitter. All of that information is below. All right. Thank you guys so much for your faith, for your support, for watching me again today. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps the channel out numerously. And as always, trade safely and stay out of the non-believers camp. All right. Be good.